Well, hello everyone, and welcome back. Today, I want to go over one of my favorite topics, which are astronomy apps. Used to be a time when you go to observe, you had to know the constellations, you had to know star maps, you had to go out with a light and look at them and try to line up with the day and time. And unless you knew them by memory, that can be a very cumbersome process. And if you've been looking at my videos long enough, you often hear me say all the time that enjoyment and participating in astronomy is all about ease of use. The more roadblocks you put up to prevent someone from just simply going out there and observing, the harder it is for people to enjoy astronomy. Well, astronomy apps have made it quite easy to see what's in the night sky at any particular time. And this series is just going over apps that I personally use, that I enjoy using, and have really helped me learn more about astronomy and make my time more efficient when I go out to observe. Today, I want to go over one of my favorite apps, which is the SkyView. So just don't forget to hit like, share, and subscribe, and let's get right into it. Well, okay, here's my phone, and let's start up SkyView. First of all, I really love this app. And when you open up, it takes control of your camera, and what you view on your screen is what you're seeing. What the night sky looks in whatever direction you point your phone or iPad. And this is a really beginner friendly app. It can be used by beginners and experts. And the first thing that you notice is if you, let's say, whatever object you select, it'll let you know what it is, a brief history of it, and what that orbit is, whether in the past or sometime in the future. Another great feature is that once you select an object, you can point your camera or your phone anywhere, and it'll provide an arrow on the screen helping you go back to whatever you're looking at. Therefore, you can select Neptune and like, oh, there's Mars. Well, there's another arrow helping guide to where to move your phone. Therefore, you can find Neptune again. And if it's an object you've never seen before, it'll provide you with a description of it and whether it's above and below the horizon, which is indicated by that red bar. This is, I found, very useful as it comes to learning about objects and helping people learn. So if you have kids, this app is really great. But it has a list of other features. You can remove, let's say, orbits, the orbits, because you're like, I don't need to look at that. You can remove the stars, you can remove the constellations, you can even remove the planets. You can also reduce the sizes of those things, which is shown later. But it has a great other feature. You can calculate object positions according to the date and time. And that's helpful. Let's say you have friends coming over on January 1st and you want to show them what's in the sky. You can calculate that. And then you're seeing me reduce the sizes of the stars, doing the same thing with the planets, which can help people either for things to focus on or if they have eyesight. Now you might be wondering, why did I make the screen red? Well, when you go out, you have to let your eyes adjust to night, and it helps you see things better in the night. Well, you don't want a color. You want to be looking at a color screen because it ruins that. Therefore, it has a feature to switch to red to avoid ruining the acclimation that your eyes have to the night environment. And then you just see me playing around. But then a great feature that it has is a search feature. You can do a word search, but you can also break it up based on what you're looking for in the night sky. And then you'll end up seeing me going to solar system first. It lists all the objects in the solar system, and then it'll indicate whether it's above the horizon and below the horizon, and then you can look at those specific features, whether it's something above the horizon and below the horizon. And it does that for all the different types of astronomical objects. By stars, star clusters, it's the same thing as before. If you select on it, it will help guide you to where it is in the night sky by an arrow, and you can just move your phone to where it is. It's the same thing as before. Above the horizon, below the horizon, and again moving. I find this incredibly useful. It helps you save time. It helps you save energy. The thing about it though is this particular app does not work with if you have a go-to. And what I mean by that is it's kind of manual. It works with the phone, but if your go-to mount doesn't do that, then you kind of have to do all that separately. But it can help with star alignments. Now, what you're seeing now is learning about constellations. How do the stars match up with the image that it's intended to represent? Well, it can help you teach those too, because it, as seen previously, it has the features to look up constellations only, which is not necessarily useful, but it is educational, especially if you want to get to the point of not relying on these apps to do that. But again, it breaks them out in the same way. You can look at constellations, you can look at satellites. Now you might be wondering, why do I want to look at satellites? Well, one of the objects that you can actually look at in the night sky is not the Hubble telescope, what you're seeing, but actually the International Space Station. And it actually appears as a fast-moving star across the night sky. And a lot of people use those to take pictures or do a visual representation of it. But you kind of have to know where it is in order to set everything up, because it moves by really fast, extremely fast. And that's another reason I love this app. And you see me gushing over this app is because this is a really great app. And I know it does have a cost, but I think it's worth it because of all the different features, all the different things you can look up, how they've organized it. You can look at galaxies, you can look at nebulas, you can look at star clusters, you can look at all the different objects, especially for people interested in visual astronomy or even especially astrophotography. You can set everything up and you can point to it in the night sky, and then you can figure out, point your telescope to it. So it actually eliminates the need for me too if you're not really interested in doing astrophotography. But it does have the feature of being able to look at the messier objects, which are, just to put it bluntly, some of the top objects that amateur astronomers or beginners like to look at, either visually or from an astrophotography standpoint, and therefore it also organizes based on that. There are two more things that it allows you to do. One, it allows you to set favorites. Let's say there's objects that you specifically want to look at, or more than once. You can make it a favorite by hitting the star, and now it's its own separate list. It also allows you to schedule and for it to send notifications for when something is going to be in the night sky. And you see me, I want to set something up for Venus because it's going to be in the sky at 5 o'clock. Therefore, 5:22. Therefore, I can send it to my phone, put it on my calendar, I can go do other stuff, and it'll let me know when Venus or something of significance is going to be in the night sky, which is a really, really great thing when it comes to figuring out when to set things up, how to maximize your time, and therefore I really enjoy this app. So, in summary, this is a very good app. From a rating of 1 to 5, I give it a 5. I think it's good for beginners, experts, and intermediates alike. And I hope you enjoy this review. and I will see you again. And that was the SkyView app. I really love this app. This app has helped me on so many occasions when either my my go-to wasn't working properly, my finders weren't looking or weren't working on my telescope, or I was just generally wanting to show people where things are in the night sky. This app has done so many things for me that I highly recommend this app. It is worth the cost. Well, let me say that. If you see yourself going out more than once, it's worth the cost. If not, then you could probably get away with the light version. But if you see yourself going out more than once, I'm going to do multiple things. I'm going to get into astrophotography. I'm going to get into visual astronomy. I'm going to go to different places. I want to look at a night sky. This app does everything you need for it to do. Well, not everything. There is another app that kind of spoiled me on this feature that allows you to control your mount with the app. Now, the situations are a bit different, and I wish SkyView had that feature, but I can see how complicated that would be. But regardless, this app, I think, is amazing, and I highly recommend it. It has educational purposes. It has, if you're an intermediate, it can help you there. If you're an expert, it can help you there. It can help you learn about the constellations, the planets, the galaxies, nebulas, you name it. It can probably help you with it when it comes to looking for it in the night sky, and even some information on it as it relates to astronomy. Therefore, I've already gushed over this app enough, but I'll conclude by saying, on a scale of 1 to 5, I give it a 5. And I hope you found this video useful.